The UK just doesn't make sense anymore. This is not to take an ounce or a gram of gratitude away from the things that this country's been able to provide me. I feel like people do often undermine the small things, the ability that I can speak English in a world where English is extremely valued, the small things. I'm someone that's abundantly grateful at my core. However, that doesn't mean that you cannot be objective. You can be abundantly grateful and show gratitude. But if we're just talking about the facts, it's starting to make less sense. Now, I like to consider myself to be a logical person, and often logic implies that you do something in a manner that has a reason behind it because it's justified by it making sense. Okay. Now, the reason why I'm saying I'm making this video and I feel like it's just something I have to get off my chest is because I think I'm living in a place that is not only not competitive as a country compared to other countries, which where I live, I want it to be competitive. I want this place to be the best. It's within my interest if I live here for it to be Great Britain, for it to be the best. But it's not. Okay. So the problem that this now has is I want to live somewhere where everyone around me is flourishing. Okay? It's not just selfishly for me, but the problem I have, if I'm living in a place that's constantly declining, is it's going to affect the people around me. Now, when the people around me and the content of their character goes down, of course it's going to affect me, which means I can give less to people, which means it's not a conducive environment for me to be able to deliver the best overall. And if I can't give my best to people around me and they're not pouring, it then is not a competitive place for me to be. Because the the sad thing about it is there are places where you being a better version allows you to flourish more. And I don't think it's necessarily the people in the UK, but I think is a failure of leadership and is complete incompetency. Because I realize it's not even just about money. It is literally about control. Because if they wanted it to be about money, they would lower the taxes. They would allow people to have more money so that there's more money in circulation. Simple. They don't want this. They don't want there to be more money. They don't want people to actually be able to have a decent quality of life. They just want to be people to be subdued and under control. And this shows a lack of leadership and it shows a lack of allocation of resources. Okay. So it's quite saddening to make this video because there's going to be a day where I'm not here. And it saddens me because the people that were born here, I was born here, the people that are ambitious and the people that are seeking more and the people that do want to pour into others and the people that want to provide opportunities are all eventually going to leave. And what position is that going to leave the country in? This is what people are not talking about. I see a lot of people bashing, oh yeah, the UK is terrible, it's this. But it's actually sad. Do you get what I'm trying to say? It's actually sad that it has the components to be competitive. It has been extremely competitive in the past, and it's being overlapped not because of the people that are living here, but down to a lack of leadership and incompetency. What's this going to look like? The most successful people are leaving, the most ambitious people are leaving. How how does this make any sense? That's one question. How does this make any sense? That's being posed to the leadership. But then how would it make sense for me as a person that is ambitious and wants better for myself to be here when I'm not in an environment that is gonna yield the best results for me? Okay? Because we can boil it down to, let's just start with the weather. Okay? There are places that are cheaper that has better weather. The economy is really expensive. However, it's not the problem of the expenses or the taxes, and that could be another category, is the fact that you don't get a return on these things. So if it was really expensive, but it was safe, now we'd be talking, it would make sense. Oh, okay. If it was really expensive and the taxes are high, but it's clean, that would make sense. But it's really expensive, it's not that safe, and it's not clean. So you're telling me there are places that are cheaper, with better weather, with less taxes, that are clean. with beautiful women, better food, better living conditions is about things making sense logically. It's not an emotional argument. I'd much rather argue in favor for why this is such a great country because in many areas it is, but is the fact that I'm seeing a decline and there's degradation in not only how it's being run, but people's pride in wanting to maintain it, having these honest conversations. How can you collect the bins or propose to collect the bins once a month? How can the streets not be cleaned when you're paying council tax, but then you're also paying national insurance, you're paying your tax. If you've got a corporation, you're paying corporation tax, you're also paying employers national insurance, then you're also paying VAT, and you're also paying road tax. Like, what is going on? You're paying all of these things. Something has to be going wrong in regards to the allocation of where this money is going, because it's definitely not going to the places that it should be. Because if it was, it would be a steady incline. There are places that have no taxes, that have a better infrastructure, that are cleaner and safer. I have to consistently ask myself, why am I here? And it's sad, you know. I just thought I'd share this because I know someone else out there, you know, maybe thinking the same thing. Maybe you can drop some words of advice what to do if you're a young person that's been born in this country and you actually kind of want it to go well, but it's giving you no answers, or if there's nothing on paper making sense to stay here except your family. You know, for a lot of people, the one variable that's tying them down, that one consistent variable is the fact they have kids, they have a family, or you now purchase property here, or your business is dependent. So you're kind of tied on emotional triggers. Your family, or in harsher instances, your ability to make an income is tying you here. Because if you look at it from an objective standpoint, and when you understand that there are places that offer better, that cost less, so you get more for less, and they do exist, they're very real, you have to begin to continue to question this. And this is not to say that I'm not grateful. Again, this is not to put it down. This is just a stream of consciousness of what's going across my mind as someone that's gone through the system, started a business here, gone to university here. I'm not talking about. I'm not someone that's just come into the country, tried to leech, and I'm saying, yeah, I'm gonna get out. It's like, oh, like, why is this actually not? Why is this not better? Is this intentional? Are the globalists content with extracting from this country and they're living in different places because it doesn't affect them, because they can move now? You know, we've had colonialism, you've had neo-colonialism, and now you've almost got this third phase of like globalists where they can extract from different places, but they can continuously move so it never affects them. We've seen colonialism where someone will go to a country, take it, boom, elevate it. But this is different. Now it's like extracting the resources from the inside out, which is something I'm still trying to comprehend. Maybe I'll make another video on this. I don't want it to be too negative. Even just doing this video in the middle, I think I wanted to flip it towards like, what is the solution? But in all honesty, I don't want to be pessimistic about the situation. I do want to be pragmatic, and I do want to think logically, and I cannot see it getting better, which is why I feel like I just needed to make this. If anyone's got any answers, feel free to share them below. Share your thoughts. Maybe you think it's great. Maybe I'm living in a bubble. But from what I'm seeing, from just a competitive standpoint of the country, for me to live around people that are happy and enjoy their life, and for me to be competitive and be the best individual for my community, and in my area, I don't know if I'm gonna be that person here, and it's a shame.